If I am sounding a little bit weird, just know that my mouth keeps getting dry, and so I have this sound to my speech. So I apologize. Trust me, I've been trying to drink so much water. I feel like I'm going to start dropping dead from overhydration syndrome. But anyways, guys, so the Concord has made its judgment after over 500 days. This is scandalous. Guys, we need to call out the Constitutional Court. This is unacceptable. It cannot be in a constitutional what's the word again? Dispensation. It cannot be that a judgment will take so long. Justice delayed, justice denied. Are y'all not the custodians of our judiciary, our constitution, and things of that nature? What's so special about this particular individual that the Constitutional Court would take over 500 days to deliberate and deliver its judgment? This must never ever happen again. It discredits the Constitutional Court. It makes us feel like the Animal Farm. Some are more equal than others. I mean, look what the judgment said. It sounded like a Christmas decoration to me. It was not a unanimous judgment. Well, was it unanimous? No, it was several judgments, if I'm not mistaken, or three, if I could be more precise. But anyways, guys, I don't want to waste too much of your time because I have a plumber that is waiting. And I said, please, can you wait for a second so that I can do this video and then you can be free to destroy my house. So let me read an article from MDVN TV saying, breaking news, Concord sets aside Parliament's rejection of Palapala report, reopen impeachment path against Ramaphosa. I mean, when that took place in 2022, I don't know if you did see my videos, but it was my still early days on YouTube. So I don't think anybody cared at the time because I think that video still has like 23 views after so many years. But I had said this decision is unconstitutional. That's what I said. It is unconstitutional that they would make such a what do you call this? A judgment in Parliament. Of course, there's a violation here. Number one, no South African is allowed to use US dollars in the country. South Africa uses the US dollar when it purchases things on the international stage. But inside, we don't use the dollar, we use the rand. And secondly, if you are caught with dollars in your house, you have violated a number of legislatures in the country. So how is it possible that number one would have so many millions of US dollars stashed under his couch? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say, but this is a crime that was committed, whether he knew or he didn't know. And I like the fact that the Constitutional Court mentioned PRECA. And I always preach about PRECA, Prevention of Corrupt Activities, Crime and Activity Act. You remember, I don't know how to put it properly, but they mentioned that. The Constitutional Court, because that's exactly what I also said in that video. I said, but the president knew that his house was broken into and he did not report the break-in until there was a little bit of a riff-raff between international community, and one of them was like, "Gizoglaya when a president," and then dropped this bombshell. Wow. So let's continue with the article. In a landmark ruling delivered this morning, Friday, the Constitutional Court has declared Parliament's 2022 decision to reject an independent panel report into the Palapala farm scandal unconstitutional and invalid, potentially reviving impeachment proceedings against President Cyril Ramaphosa. Last night, what did I say? And I said, if I was Cyril Ramaphosa, I would beat the impeachment committee to it by tendering a letter of resignation today. Because this is impeachment. it's impeachable act that was committed. And the Constitutional Court was quite scathing on the president not reporting the crime. And on top of that, where did you get those dollars from? The article continues to say the acting Chief Justice Mandi Samaya set the National Assembly's vote aside and referred the Section 89 panel report back to the impeachment committee, reopening the possibility of formal proceedings under Section 89 of the Constitution. Obviously, it's gross misconduct, and therefore, you're fired. Ooh, okay. That's for another video, what I just had running in my mind. And the article continues to say the ruling stems from a challenge brought by the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, and the African Transformation Movement, ATM, against Parliament's handling of the report. In December 2022, the National Assembly voted 214 to 148. This is a number of votes against adopting the findings of the independent panel chaired by former Chief Justice Sandile Ngcobo. Oh, that guy was my favorite. Which had concluded, actually, no, I'm lying. My two most favorite Constitutional Court Chief Justices was Arthur Chaskelson and I think Pius Lang, even though Pius Lang was very quiet, but I liked him. Which had concluded that there was prima facie evidence that Ramaphosa may have committed serious misconduct. I believe it's called gross misconduct in the Constitution, and violated his oath of office. Yeah, because he is the custodian of the Constitution, therefore the rule of law. And the rule of law says, the rule of law says that, yeah, just because I was saying it fast. The rule of law says, as I just explained earlier, about dollars, and especially when you are going to conceal them under a couch, you've committed gross misconduct, especially if you are serving in a public office, especially an apex office of the country, the president. Yes, sirs. The Palapala scandal dates back to February 2020 when thieves broke into Ramaphosa's private game farm in Limpopo and stole between $400,000 to $580,000 in foreign currency. Money, the president said, was proceeds from the sale of buffalo. Even that, Mr. President, you're not allowed to have such money, especially that kind of currency. What about SARS? Child. Questions were raised over the handling of the undeclared cash, the delayed police report, and the involvement of state security officials in the recovery effort. Was it the reason why he took them and put them under his wings? While Ramaphosa was cleared by the public protector, the public protector just put herself on the firing line. Ma'am, step down. This is an indictment to you because she cleared the president. And the Constitutional Court says, no. Public protector, goodbye, ma'am. And the South African Reserve Bank on related ethics and exchange control complaints. Whoever is the governor of the Reserve Bank, toodle-doo to you too. The independent panel found grounds for further parliamentary scrutiny under the impeachment provisions of the Constitution. Oh my goodness. This is like almost like a ripple effect. Whoever was the commissioner of police at the time, I guess it was Tole. Well, he's retired now, so he needs to be held accountable one way or the other. The public protector and the Reserve Bank governor. Wow. Friday's judgment does not determine the president's guilt or innocence. Wanna bet? But anyways, the Constitutional Court does not make declarations of such as guilt or not guilty. It's it's either valid or invalid. So it already stated that the process the parliament took was invalid, and him having dollars under his couch violated PRECA. There you go. It's not a criminal matter that the Constitutional Court was hearing. Even if it was a criminal matter that the Constitutional Court was hearing, it was going to look at the constitutionality of the lower court's decision, whether the person is guilty or not guilty. If you listen to Julius Malema, who says, if I am found guilty and sentenced in the case of Choo Choo in the air, we will appeal all the way to the Constitutional Court. So as the case goes up, it loses its criminality and then enters constitutionality, because that's what the Constitutional Court looks at. Not the criminal aspect, but the constitutionality of the sentence, the guilty verdict and the sentence, whether both of them are constitutional or not. That's how I understand it. Instead, it focuses on whether Parliament acted rationally and unconstitutionally when it voted down the panel's recommendations without proceeding to a formal impeachment inquiry. The decision is expected to intensify political pressure on the president and test the balance of power between the executive. But if the president, the cabinet also dissolves, isn't it? Do I get it wrong? If the president is impeached, the entire cabinet also collapses. Legislature, judiciary in South Africa's young democracy, opposition parties have long argued that the original rejection shielded Ramaphosa from accountability. I agreed at the time also. Parliament's impeachment committee must now reconsider the panel report in light of the court's finding. Further developments are expected in the coming weeks as the process unfolds. Well, there's a lot going on here. If Ramaphosa goes down, of course, the cabinet gets dissolved. I stand corrected. That means we're not even going to have the deputy president as acting president. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean we get led by the Speaker of Parliament and 90 days time we go to elections? Is that what, guys? This is a bit technical. I'm going to look into it and come back, guys, and tell you what will happen if Ramaphosa is impeached. What happens to his cabinet? But I think to bypass the dissolvement of cabinet, Ramaphosa will have to step down or get recalled. But everybody that is going to take his place will want to come with their own stooges. We're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. It looks like that. But anyways, my plumber is waiting for me. I need to say goodbye. I just wanted to come and update you on what's going on and also say that I saw this coming because I did question it before in 2022. I was like, this is unconstitutional and all of that stuff. And I think if you look deeper into it, the Minister of Police or even the National Police Commissioner needs to consider a criminal case against the president because a crime was committed. PRECA, Prevention and Combating of Corruptions Act 13 of 2004, if I'm not mistaken. That's a criminal act. So your prosecution must follow after this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. But thank you all for listening. See you later. Goodbye. Okay. I'm almost done. Okay, sure.